Wednesday, the 12th of January. So I've waited and waited until late on to record this service, or this reflection, I should say, because I was waiting to see what the First Minister had to say about the coronavirus update and what, if anything, was going to change. So I thought, right, what's been happening in the news that I could talk to you about for our reflection? So, how disappointing was the coronavirus update? That's just my thought. I have to admit, I am now completely and utterly fed up with coronavirus, and I am sick to the back teeth of all the restrictions, and especially the continuing restrictions within church life. So that's my view on the coronavirus at this moment in time. Yeah, she's opened it up to football and to rugby and to sport as per usual. And I appreciate that they are all outdoors. I understand that. But I really had hoped there would have been something else for the majority of the country and not just for sporting fans. I've been a bit annoyed at that. But hey, we're allowed to be that, aren't we? So I really was disappointed that more change didn't happen. Because I really do believe we have to keep adapting, we have to keep changing to all different things in our lives. Really, we really do. So what else has been happening in the news? Well, the other big thing, of course, over the last few days was Djokovic, the tennis player. Oh, yes. Now, at the beginning, I had some sympathy for him. I really did. And I understood, he'd filled in everything and he was allowed access and then he was detained. And, we all know the story of what went on with it. But then to discover that he had actually misled, saying that, he was diagnosed with COVID, and then the next day he was actually out in his own area and doing various things for his charity, for his sponsorship. And then he said he wasn't out of his own country when in fact he'd been to Spain. He has the right not to take the vaccine. That's absolutely everybody's right. But to me, you're putting people's life in danger by not doing that. But that's the rules, that's the law. So what's happening there? Did the government change its mind? Did the tennis association didn't change their mind? But why did that little lie come through on his application form? So, is the tennis association going to have to change their mind about future events? Because many areas will not allow people who are unvaccinated now into their countries. Some people who are unvaccinated are now no longer being allowed to travel to certain destinations or enter certain nightclubs, certain sporting matches, you name it. So what's going to happen there? That's a big iffy. Simply because that's taken away people's freedom of choice. It really is. And then what else has been happening in the news? Well, the Conservative Party. Not the whole party, just dear old Boris and his entourage at Downing Street. Of course, we heard yesterday that invitations were sent out to say, come along, bring your own drink. And, I can understand coronavirus, so that not everybody was touching bottles or glasses. They all had their own things, and that would have kept them safe. However, this time they really did break the rules, didn't they? And so I've changed my mind again on the whole thing, because I fully understand people that if you're in an office, even with only 2, 3, 4 people working because of the COVID, if it was Christmas time, of course you're going to have a wee glass of wine or a wee bit of cheese or a nibble or something. It's Christmas after all. You work with colleagues. So that whole episode did not bother me one little bit, because I think anybody who had been working in an office would have done the same thing. So I thought there was a big song and dance made about the whole thing. But now I've changed my mind. Because on the surface of it, without hearing everything, I think they have done the wrong. I've changed my mind about them. I think they have definitely gone in the wrong direction. And where's it going to stop? Where is it going to stop? Lead by example. There's many a thing as a minister that if we were seen or caught doing something, it would be tantamount to being fired. We have to be careful what we do, how we're seen, because as soon as a minister does anything wrong, it's picked upon. It really is. But we're all human, aren't we? We're all human. So the one thing, though, that I think should change all the time is our life of faith, our life of worship, all of that. Because if you just keep doing the same old, it can very quickly become stale. If you do things by rote, do you lose the meaning of it? So I am glad to say that in Eastern Old, we are normally changing things up often. The way we do our worship services, the extra things that we do, the way we put our faith into action, it has to constantly change and adapt to what's happening in our world. So can you change? Or do you hate change? Because let's be honest, I think the majority of people don't like change. But we have to change. We have to adapt. And that really focuses my mind when I do funerals of people in their 90s and also people who are 100 and slightly above. Can you just imagine the changes that they have seen in their lives? It is just phenomenal. And they have certainly adapted and changed over the years. And that's something we can do too. We are allowed to change. So go on. Think of something that you've always done and you've always done it the same way and change it. God bless everyone. Have a great week.